just want to get into this past weekend, man. Main event, Canelo versus Jermell Charlo. Just as a legend, what did you see happening
Well, I seen attempt for history to be made again. As you see, my name was on top of that. Was the four belt holders or the
undisputed champions?
The undisputed champions in a full belt era, right? So let's have a little conversation about that history, and also let's talk about what we witnessed Saturday. I believe that Jermell had good intentions of going in with everything he said leading up to that fight until he recognized the power. And he also recognized early in that exchange, rounds of fighting, that nothing got Canelo's attention, that he had to be aware or leery or threatened by anything. That's a lot for a fighter, especially a fighter that's not considered a seasoned veteran, but not a rookie either, to understand that this is going to be a long night. For any experienced fighter that is honest with himself, and if you're honest with yourself, you're going to be honest with interviews or the public, you know right away, the fighter, when you're in that ring, whether you should be cautious, at least now, maybe later you can be a little different, but at this moment, you felt something. You might have, through a good shot that didn't pierce or made your opponent second guess himself by being hesitant to come forward. Let me tell you, Alvarez, Canelo established that early. Pressure, which we knew he would do. That's how he fights. A defense where he's hittable, but he's not easy to hit. And he continue to chop you down with punches to your arm, your body, your neck, your throat, whatever he can hit, he's hitting from the waist up. And he recognized that this was different. Once you get that locked in your mind, is two things is going to happen. Either you be a victim of that demise, or you will fight the rest of the fight to not experience that again. Whether it's a punch, whether it was a punch that glazed you, but you felt some, but I get hit with that. That there changes your whole approach on how you fight the next round, after round, after round, after the next round. And that's what I seen. Did he survive? Yes. Was it clear to everyone that has knowledge or lack of to see that? Yes. Do I look at him as saying that he has no heart, he let us down, he didn't fight the way he talked, or anything else come with that I'm hearing people say? I say that part there, and I'm saying it, he don't deserve. But we in an unforgivable business. And fans had one agenda, most of them. They pay their money. They want to see they person win. They got to win. They champion win. And the entertainment that they get out of it. Obviously, we in the ring, we want more than just that. And we have to have a responsibility to do what? To do what we say we told you, the reporters, and everybody else, the world, what we was going to do. That's the chance you take in the sweet science of boxing. So I say to people, and I'll say to anyone who goes in the ring, and especially dare to be great, we're going to keep hearing that. Most people don't mean it. A few people know what it means, and they mean it, and I do. And understanding that doing that or attempting to make history is a chance you take. He took a great chance on being great. That doesn't mean he has no other chances in his career. We know he do. If you go all the way back to the 50s, even longer than that, and see the greats, and Henry Armstrong. Come on. Myself, they said I was nuts to jump up to 160 pounds and go 2 weight classes. You remember that?
Of course.
And I'm attempting at that time to do it because of history. I respect any woman or man in any aspects of sports or even business to sincerely go in there and chase history and willing to die doing it. And we're going to credit, man, are you kidding me? This to me is like, it's not even a conversation with an ignorant person that don't understand, let alone just a fan who want what they want, and I understand you want your money's worth. But we fight for more than just that, most of us. Legacy. You never can go broke based on legacy. You can be broke and still have legacy attached to your name. But one thing about legacy, you can't spend it.
Can't take it to the bank, huh?
You can't take it to the bank, but you can take it to both places. You could take it to your grave, but it's still in the books to be reminded to the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation, that you were there. That you were there. They're still talking about Wilt Chamberlain. They're still talking about Julius Erving. They're still talking about Bird, Larry Bird, Nate Archibald. What are we talking about? The greats in baseball, the greats in football. What are we talking about? History can never be forgotten if one person in the world remembers it, even if they take it out of our school books.
Looking at history, right? He attempted to make history. Crawford has talked a lot about attempting to make history as well, becoming the first male to be undisputed in 3 divisions. He's talking about, facing Canelo. Kind of a 2-part question. Who is the top pound for pound between those 2 guys, Canelo and Crawford? And is that realistic to...
This is what I say. When you talk about pound for pounds, you said 2 things, and you can put me back on base if I'm wrong about these answers of these questions that I've seen, because I felt it coming. Let's deal with the first. Who's my pound for pound list? I still have Tank because of the Ryan Garcia execution. And right on his heels is Canelo, because Canelo wore the throne before the Tank in Ryan's fight. And based on his previous performance, Canelo, he didn't lose a step based on where he's right on the heels of debate. Personally, I say that Tank Davis still holds that throne, but not by a wide margin. There's a conversation, and when there's a conversation about opinions, whether there's a poll been taken somewhere on somebody's website, maybe they'll do it after this interview, I'm going on record saying I believe it's going to be close on who is pound for pound right now. Whether, Canelo was bigger and the Charlo brothers dared to be great and went up 2 or 3 weight classes, and they don't want to give Canelo credit for that. Okay. Canelo would have lost that fight, then it would have been history. And then everybody would be like, oh, great, let's do this. But, damn if you do, damn if you don't. But right now, to me, it's a close contest and opinions on who's pound for pound. Now, let's go to the Crawford versus Canelo. It will be more of a letdown for people to think that history could be made by Crawford to take that huge step to go and attempt to do that. Now, there are calculated risk and there are risk. That's strictly a risk because Crawford is not a huge puncher. And there won't be one in a 3-weight class division. Canelo don't have to come down. Why? I believe is what we have sometimes in these moments, boxing gossip, distractions to work other things behind the scenes. See, while we or they are being hypnotized by the jab of this type of technique, other things is being done, moved around, shifted around, and schemed while you concentrate on something that's not going to happen, that doesn't make any sense from an advantage or a disadvantage, because Canelo doesn't gain anything from that fight. And some will say, well, he does. What is it? Payday. Okay. I think Canelo understands that he can get that same payday even more somewhere else. Everything to lose, even in a victory. Look what's happening now to him, most people. If anything, it's the blueprint of the last fight, that he just had. Now I think it's just, okay, you got that out of the way. They got a reprieve to come up with some ridiculous fantasy conversation of talking about what's going to happen and who's going to fight who. It's not going to happen. There's a big shift to change the shift of this conversation. You like that, didn't you? There's a big shift going on. And the big shift is going on is a little squeaked out, but a few people that might understand and keep their ear to the ground in this business are starting to seep out now about the shift of control. Some would say networks. Some would say this, or some would say that. It's wide open. Don't be asleep. There's a big shift coming.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's a big
very
shift,
interesting,
yeah.
for sure. Just last one for me.
We should talk about maybe Nickelodeon might do fights now. But go ahead.
Last one. Just if the PBC puts together a David Benavidez versus Canelo fight. Where does Bhop lay with that one?
I'm going with Canelo.
How?
He know that this one means more than the first one. Well, what do you mean? Well, like I said, it means more than the first one.